Welcome back. This is day 2 of your excretory system. Today's aim is how is waste filtered and removed from the body? But before we get into that, you guys have got 2 do not questions. So go ahead and pause this video, answer those questions, and press play when you're ready to review them. All right, number 1, which structures in diagram 1 and diagram 2 carry out a similar life function? So looking at this diagram, I see that diagram 1 is showing us an animal cell, and structure 2 is showing us, or diagram 2 rather, is showing us a human. But which of these 2 structures perform similar functions? Hopefully you guys got that the answer there was D. Structure 4 is showing us the cell membrane. And structure B is showing us the kidneys. And these 2 structures are similar because they both function in removing waste. Okay, the cell membrane is going to allow waste to leave the cell. The kidneys are going to filter waste in order to prepare it to exit the body. So the answer there was D. All right, number 2, the diagram below shows a section of human skin. So you may remember seeing this diagram on yesterday's notes. And I told you guys that this section right here represents the outer layer of skin. And today we learned another word for that at today's practice. We know that the outer layer of the skin is known as the epidermis. But this question is asking us, what is structure X? So if we look inside this diagram, we see that structure X is this coiled bundle. And hopefully you remember that that coiled bundle represents a sweat gland. Okay, so wastes are transported into this sweat gland before they're then excreted from the body through the pores of your skin. All right, now the first thing we're going to do today is we're going to review the structures of the excretory system we talked about yesterday. But there are actually 2 structures on this diagram that are a throwback to our circulatory system. Now I know it's been a while since we've talked about that, so I gave you guys a hint. Structure A is carrying oxygenated blood, and structure B is carrying deoxygenated blood. So use those 2 hints to figure out what are these structures. Pause this video, fill in those missing blanks, and press play when you're ready to review them. All right, structure A, carrying oxygenated blood away from the heart, there's another hint for you, is pointing at the artery, all right, which means that structure B, carrying deoxygenated blood, is a vein. Okay, structure C, we've got 2 bean-shaped structures. Hopefully that gives you a hint. Structure C is pointing at your kidneys. Okay, those kidneys are then connected to these tube-like structures that carry urine down your excretory system, and those tubes are called ureters. You've got 2 ureters, one connected to each kidney. Those ureters then combine together within the structure that contains or stores your urine, and that storage structure is called your bladder. Okay, and that urine is stored in your bladder until you are ready to go to the bathroom, where it is then excreted through your urethra. Okay, if you have any questions about these structures, please send me a message on Remind, and I'll get back to you. Now, yesterday I mentioned something called a nephron in relation to the kidney, but we didn't talk a lot about what actually is a nephron. So today we're going to talk a little bit more about that. But first thing we need to do is read this passage. Okay, so follow along with me as I read through this passage. Human kidneys perform 2 major functions. They remove urea from the blood by breaking down excess amino acids, and they regulate the concentration of most of the substances in your body fluids. Now, one of these functions should sound pretty familiar because we actually talked about the liver doing this today. Okay, so I want you guys to write down that the liver does this too. The liver also removes urea from the blood and break down excess amino acids. Liver does this too. So they work together, part of the same body system. Now, the kidneys contain many nephrons. These are called the functional subunits of the kidneys where the actual action occurs. So when we describe something as a functional subunit, I want you guys to highlight this portion right here. That means that that is where the actual action of this organ occurs. So the filtration that we talk about the kidneys doing actually happens in the nephrons. When filtrate is formed in the nephron, it continues through the tubules until most of the glucose, water, amino acids, and some salts are reabsorbed back into the blood. So our body's actually going to reabsorb any sort of helpful nutrients that they want to recycle. okay? Those are reabsorbed back into the capillaries. But the fluid that remains in the tubules consists of water, urea, and salt. This is called urine. So the urine that you excrete is waste. That is what our body wants to get rid of: water, urea, and salt. Now, this picture on the left is what a nephron looks like. Now, this nephron is found inside your kidneys. Now, I've got a picture of, there it is. All right. So, oh no. Okay, hold on. Okay, that'll have to do. Okay, so the kidney, oh, but I want to draw on this. I'm crashing and burning, guys. Hold on. There it is. So this kidney is showing us a cross section of the kidney, which means someone sliced a kidney in half. And this is what a picture of that would look like. Okay, and if we zoom in on this right here, we would see a bunch of these nephron structures right here. So these nephrons are found inside the kidney. And there are actually hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of these nephrons inside your kidney. So they're all working together to filter your blood and filter that urine out through the excretory system. But these nephrons are found inside your kidneys, inside these functional units right here. So there are tons of little nephrons inside of them. Okay, and what happens is your arteries are going to carry blood into these nephrons. Okay, and then all of the waste is going to be filtered out. Okay, so then that waste is going to continue on as urine down through your excretory system. But again, you just need to know that nephrons are the functional units of the kidney where the filtration of that urine actually occurs. Right, which leads us to a very fun part: diseases of the excretory system. So we've got another short passage to read, bear with me. Diseases of the kidneys affect the body's ability to eliminate normal amounts of metabolic wastes. Gout is a condition, oh my iPad fell. Gout is a condition that produces symptoms similar to arthritis and is caused by deposits of uric acids in the joints. Victims of gout suffer from severe pain and stiffness in the joints. Diets that are extremely high in protein result in the production of large amounts of urea, which the kidneys must remove from the blood. The extra strain on the kidneys in eliminating these wastes may result in a kidney disorder or malfunction. Okay, so gout is just one example of an excretory disorder. My dad's actually had gout, and I want to highlight the point that it says this is caused by diets high in protein, okay, specifically red meat. So if you eat a lot of red meat, watch out, because this might be your future. When your body has to break down that red meat and that extra protein, lots of extra urea and uric acid will build up inside of your blood because your kidneys can't filter it all out. So if you see in this picture, this gout is caused by these deposits of uric acid, which is related to urea, right? That waste product. I'm gonna draw that red. Right, related to urea, which is a waste, right? A waste that our body wants to get rid of. But if your body has lots of urea to get rid of, it's not going to be able to get rid of all of it if you're continuously eating more red meat and eating more protein. So deposits are going to start building up, specifically in your joints. Most people get it on their feet. It's like my dad had it around his heel, and it became really, really painful for him to walk. But an easy way to minimize this is to watch what you eat, drink lots of water to help filter your blood, and just be healthy. My dad doesn't exercise at all, which leads me to the next part. Oh, hold on, I've got pictures first. Here are some pictures of gout. I'm sorry I did not give you a warning there. I personally forgot I included these here. This is what gout looks like. So my dad's was not this bad, but it can get this bad if left untreated. So these are those deposits or buildup of uric acid and urea that build up in your joints and cause really, really painful side effects. Okay. Now, I mentioned that my dad had gout. He also had this next excretory disorder, which is kidney stones. So these result when urine becomes too concentrated and substances in the urine crystallize to form stones. So I've got a few pictures of what this looks like. This picture right here is actually on your notes. You can see that these deposits or these stones start building up inside your ureters. And the only way to get them out is to pee them out through your urethra, which is really, really painful because your urethra is pretty small and it's not meant to excrete crystals of waste. It's not good. So here are some other examples of kidney stones. They can get pretty nasty. And like I said, my dad had this too. So last year I actually FaceTimed him to ask him about this. And he told me that he actually had kidney stones sitting on his desk at work. So I've included some pictures of that. He said that this was his reminder to drink more water, right? So another way to prevent kidney stones from happening is drink more water, don't drink as much soda, and help clean out help your excretory system out. Help filter some of that waste out by drinking more water. Don't end up like this because he had to go to the hospital to get this one out and it was not a pretty day. All right, and the final excretory disorder we need to know, this, which is one that my dad sadly does not have, is renal failure. Now, renal is another word for your kidneys. So anytime you see this word renal, I want you to think of kidneys. So when we're talking about kidney failure, this results when the kidneys fail to function correctly, which leads to abnormal levels of fluids and wastes in the body. Because if your kidneys aren't functioning properly, they're not going to be able to clean out all of that waste that you've got to get rid of. So if you know someone who has kidney failure, they may have had to undergo something called dialysis, which I've shown a picture of right here, which is basically when you get hooked up to a machine that artificially works as your kidneys would. And that machine is going to filter all of your blood and get all of those impurities and wastes out. But this is obviously not ideal because kidney dialysis averages about 4 hours per session, 3 times per week. I don't know if there's enough Netflix to allow you to sit for 4 hours, 3 times a week while you get your blood filtered. So please, this is not the goal. Drink water, please exercise. I need to this afternoon. And stay away from sodas, okay? Treat your kidneys with kindness. They will thank you in the long run. All right, guys, that is all I have for you today. So go ahead and fill out your exit ticket, submit these notes on Google Classroom, and have a wonderful day. I'll see you tomorrow.